Working Interferences is intended for mature audiences. Since the hosts never grew up, someone needs to be the adult. Welcome to Working Interferences with Josh and Lance, the dental advice podcast for the average dentist. Here is Josh and Lance.
Bros, what is up? Welcome to the Working Interferences podcast, a dental advice show. I'm Joshua Austin.
And I am Lance Timmerman.
Lance, what are you? Oh, you're sociable leader today.
Uh-huh.
I don't
They're
think
not wrong.
You're neither of those things.
Exactly.
You're neither sociable, nor do you want to be a leader.
Get off my porch.
I still love it. It's my least favorite one that they've given you.
Yeah. I'm still going to change my Instagram to it right now.
Some guy who wrote the code to this wrote, I don't know, probably 100 adjectives.
Yeah.
And 100 nouns. And it just pulls randomly. I wonder how long it's going to take us. How many episodes do we have to get to before it labels you a duplicate that we've had before?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
So I'm interested in that. So that we should maybe start taking bets on that. I'd say over under 35 episodes. So that would put us somewhere in the 165 to 170 range, I would guess.
Sounds
somewhere
about right.
in there. So we'll see how that goes.
We shall see.
You texted me this week because you had posted, or you had a Facebook ad running for your practice.
Oh, yeah.
And I forget what the ad was for.
It was just like smile makeover. I had done the veneers on this woman, and some of her friends saw her picture and commented, "Oh, hey, Rita," and things. And, people will make inquiries, asking more info and, where are you located and things like that.
So you had an unfortunate comment on this ad, correct?
Well, yeah, I had some guy say, hey, drive up to Kirkland. If Tukwila too far, come to Kirkland, and you can get the same result for less money.
Now, you say this guy.
Yeah.
You're saying another dentist.
Another dentist decided to jump on my paid advertisement. It wasn't just a comment in some thread that we both happen to be friends with or anything like that. It was my paid ad. And I get notifications on my phone. So it just happened to be 2 hours later, I get the notification, or I wake up and see that there's this notification. And so I deleted it. I just immediately just deleted it. And I was hoping to be able to ban the guy, but my phone, you can't do it from my phone app. You got to go in.
You deleted his comment is what you mean.
The comment was gone, but I don't want him to even see the ad moving forward because I don't want him to do it again. Because I had other people that kept tagging their dentist in the thing, and I deleted them. And then a couple days later, they'd see it again, and they would tag him again, and then say, "Oh, you should go to my dentist." And so I was tired of having to continuously delete them. And that's assuming I get to see their comment within minutes. What if it's 6 hours? What if I'm busy all day and it's 6 hours later? How many other people are seeing their solicitation? Right. So I thought I'd throw that on Hacks. I chose Hacks because they like me, and there's 30,000 people there, so it'd be a nice group of groupthink. And it was kind of an interesting. A lot of people just delete it. What's the big deal? Shut up. Well, yeah, I did that, but I kind of wanted to get a discussion on it.
I did not see the thread. I try not to wade into Hacks because there's just a lot of shit that goes on there.
Yeah.
I'll go in every once in a while, but for the most part, it's not that I don't like it. It's just that I'll get stuck in there. And
yeah, it's a dumpster fire, and if you don't pay attention, you can get sucked in. And I was doing it mostly because I wanted to also generate some content for this.
Yeah, great.
And
when you told me I actually took notes, I was like, holy shit. For the first time.
First time ever, I'm actually prepared with notes.
Is there anybody who thought this was cool?
A few people were just thinking it was just making too big of a deal. I don't think anybody agreed with this guy's approach. So,
good.
Yeah. I mean, there's that. So a few of the comments I got. So Jay, he says he does not hold a candle to you. So I said, thanks. I appreciate that, but that really wasn't going for...
He's just blowing smoke up your ass. It doesn't
bit.
add anything to the debate.
Yeah, exactly. Armin said, usually it's team members commenting on them. Dentists don't usually get on Facebook. And so the thing about...
Armin lives his life on Facebook.
I know. I thought it was kind of ironic.
What is he talking about?
I thought, well, that's not your MO, but... So, I mean, I've had patients or staff members, they were posting links to other dentists and trying to piggyback on it. And then that's why I was a little agitated on because this is the first time it was a dentist. Previously, it was always just other people or disgruntled former patients that, have an axe to grind. So you don't normally just delete them, but, and then, so someone did say, just ban them. Well, you have to ban them as acting as the page, because if you ban them personally, then the next time they post something, you're not even going to see it.
Right.
Yeah. So Gina said, this is shitty. Delete his comment and answer this question on working interferences. Way ahead of you, Gina. And then she said, this is a screenshot I took last night of one of those mom groups. A mom asked if it's typical for a dentist to charge for PPE. And this shithead decided it was an opportunity to market herself. We eat our own. And then she had this screenshot. I couldn't cut and paste into this for my notes, but it was someone who was saying, "Oh, that's terrible. Hey, if you're looking for a dentist that doesn't charge you PPE," and then gives her name, phone number and stuff, piggybacking on another dental ad or post. So, Sahel said, "Can't you just turn off commenting?" And I thought about having no comments, but what I found, the more I've done Facebook ads, I've found that a lot of people, they'll participate in the comments, but they won't actually click the link to the ad. It's frustrating.
Yeah, and it looks like you have something to hide.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. If there's comments aren't even a possibility, then you're hiding something. But I mean, people are stupid. They'll say, "Hey, where are you?" Well, in the ad itself, it tells you I'm in Tukwila. What's your phone number? It's in the ad. Click the link. Do you take new patients? Well, it's a fucking ad for new patients. I think click the link. So having comments, I think, is important if you're going to be doing a Facebook ad. Let's see. Casey said, I have my cell number listed on our voicemail for emergencies. I had a person call my cell on a weekend just to ask for the phone number of a different office that accepts his insurance.
Oh, God. Do you remember? So I would come up with the number.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember 900 numbers or like 976 numbers?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are those still around?
I don't think so. I don't hear ads for them, and I never used them, so I can't say that my favorite's still active.
You had a favorite?
No, I didn't. So I can't say it still works.
It would be cool to respond with something like that, just for the shock factor of hey, here's the and just have it memorized and chambered and ready to go. Unfortunately, that that situation will never come up again. So the vast majority of people agreed that this was a bullshit move, right?
Yeah. Let's see. Grace said hilarious, and I delete it. I'm like, I'm not sure it's hilarious.
I mean, yeah, it's funny for me.
Yeah.
Because it's not mine.
One person had other than being weird, I don't think it has any affecting your patient flow. Let's see. Can't you hide the comment?
But it's the principle of it's the principle of doing that because you're paying money for that, and he is basically shitting on your front yard.
Yeah. Now, a few people said call him directly, and I'm sitting there thinking that's just going to, no matter what, it's going to be a bad conversation. No one wins in that phone call. I'm going to look like an arrogant prick for calling him out. It's just for the one comment. Now, what I thought was one person said I thought was brilliant. They said, look at the timestamp. Maybe he was wasted. Well, I did get up at 6 a.m. It was 2 hours previous, so it's 4 a.m. Yeah, he could have been on his way down and got on Facebook before he passed out in bed. I don't know. I mean, 4 a.m.? That's early.
4 a.m.'s weird because it's either really early or really late.
Yeah.
If it's 3 a.m., I think it's definitely
late. Yeah.
4 a.m. is like, oh, maybe he's just like, I get up early and go swim 1,500 meters guy.
Yeah.
who I incidentally hate. I hate that guy, by the way.
Yeah. Maybe he has to feed horses like Alan. I think he gets up like 4 or 5 like that too.
Oh, God, fuck me.
Yeah.
Marathon man Alan, who's run for 60-something days in a row.
Yeah. I think today was named number 70.
We missed 69.
Yeah. Damn it. This where he's like, why, Lance, why do you have time or energy to do this? Life's too short. I'm like, well, yeah. Okay. Another person for the funny.
But the point of it is that you're investing money into advertising, and he is shitting all over it, and that's not okay. That's not like I got cut off in traffic. That's not that.
Right. Yeah. Another person, Dan, thinks it's clever and funny. It's an obvious joke to any person with common sense. So I'm just going to say I don't have common sense then.
I don't think it's a joke.
I don't think so either. So, I mean, then I did look at his website, and I'm looking at this guy, trying to say, oh, you can get the same cosmetic results for less money up in Kirkland. Not this guy. Maybe there are people in Kirkland that are great, but he's not one of them. So, anyway, that was my little social experiment using hacks to kind of figure out what the thoughts were on piggybacking someone else's Facebook ads.
So I definitely think that it's a block. Has he been blocked by you?
I blocked him from the professional page, but I didn't block him personally.
Okay, you messaged him, yes?
Yeah, I messaged and I said, yeah, try to be more
slid
professional.
into those DMs.
Yeah, I went straight to DM and said, try to be more professional. He still has yet to respond.
Has he seen it?
He's seen it.
Oh, he has seen it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, let me check. I think I saw the icon change. I'll go Troy. There he is. No, I'm wrong. He hasn't seen it yet. Still
okay.
Still got the little white check mark. Hasn't turned blue.
I hate being left on red.
I do too.
So much. It's so annoying.
Very.
There's this woman that does some speaking stuff, like where she helps you come up like with your packets. Like,
okay.
Anytime you're, like if you're speaking to a group or they're inquiring about it, they want like this sort of PDF packet that you send. And
right.
I've got mine. It could be better. I'm adding the new Shamford Psyche stuff, and so I thought it might be a good idea.
Right.
To just have her work with her on this stuff,
uh-huh.
to kind of get my portfolio up to date a little bit, get all my programs kind of refreshed, and she makes really nice ones.
Uh-huh.
The ones I have, I like to make on a word processor, and they're fine, but they could be smoother.
Mm-hmm.
And so I talked to her a couple years ago, and it's fairly expensive, and now I've got some EIDL money that's eating a hole in my pocket. So I was like, okay, now would be a good time.
Nice.
So I messaged her and like, hey, we had a conference call a couple years ago, talked about it. I'd like to revisit it. I have a new program. I think that it has a specific niche. In addition to my other programs I'm going to keep doing, I'd like to chat with you about working with you on things like contacting meeting planners, my program sheets, etc.
Uh-huh.
Left on red.
Oh, God.
This is like May 22nd. So on Tuesday, I just messaged her again. Good talk. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give you business.
Uh-huh.
What I don't understand. I do not understand the leaving people on red.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. My daughters do that to me. It drives me nuts. So I will.
Well, that's a different.
I know.
A little different.
A little bit.
Yeah, this guy's a douche.
Yeah.
Your guy Troy, we didn't give his last name.
No.
So we're good. Your guy Troy's a douche.
Think so.
All right. I'm going to confess something.
Are you?
Sometimes I'll have to search for an office to call their number.
Uh-huh.
Right? To get a chart or find out when an implant was.
Sure.
That
Yeah.
they restored or placed. What sometimes you have to call an office.
Right. Yeah.
And if it's someone that I don't love, or if it's someone that's I think is a hack,
uh-huh.
If the first result is an ad for them that they're running on Google, on Google AdWords, I always click on the ad.
Yeah, so they'll pay for it. Yeah.
Because it costs them $4.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's a friend of mine, I don't do that.
Yeah, you'll find the organic listing and
Right.
Save
but
a
if
buck.
it's someone that's that guy's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Or,
Yep.
then I will, then I'll always click the ad. But I feel like that's a little that's more passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Than this is what Troy did to you.
A little bit. Yep.
We've all done that,
Yeah,
I think, or at least people who know.
I think so. I think it's a pretty common tact.
So Troy in Kirkland is a douchebag.
Yeah, that's my new T-shirt.
I wonder if I called Seattle Study Club. They're in Kirkland. I wonder if they would know who this guy was.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be kind of curious.
I guess he'd have to be a member of a club.
Yeah.
And that would be Bob Gottlieb's club. But he sold his practice. So I might text Bob and ask if he knows this guy.
Or Gergen would probably be able to give us some head.
In fact, I got to call Gergen. Called me today. I got to call him back.
Oh, all right.
Those are calls that I don't. I always return. If you're calling me from Seattle Study Club, I'm going to return your call.
Yeah, that's a smart move.
Always.
That's smart.
Lance, this is an advice show.
Sometimes.
We answer your questions. We answer questions we find on all those neat little dental Facebook groups. We answer questions from Reddit. We strive to help dentists and dental team members with their own unique brand of advice. So please, we need your questions. They are the sustenance we crave. You can submit your questions to workinginterferences@gmail.com. Now, we don't want just any question, do we, Lance?
We do not.
We don't want a bunch of boring questions like, what's the best advertising method? Because we all know that commenting on other dentist ads is the greatest marketing method ever. We want the questions that Gordon Christensen cannot answer. Question 1. I saw this today. I texted it to you immediately.
Yeah.
I've never been so excited for a Reddit question. Reddit user Dental Farter says... I farted in front of my dentist. I'm going to do some other reads.
Okay.
I farted in front of my dentist. I farted in front of my dentist. I farted in front of my dentist. There you go. We had a lot of different reads there.
There you go. Yeah.
Hey, fam. Throwaway account here. I am a 29-year-old woman. I was having some bonding work done on my front tooth. He was using some kind of strip between my front teeth. It didn't hurt, but it was pushing my front teeth apart. I was sort of bracing myself during this, and I ended up audibly farting. In my mind, it sounded deafening. It probably wasn't that loud. It was the opposite of silent but deadly. It was loud and harmless. Needless to say, I was mortified. I did what any sane person does and just ignored it. I'm hoping he thought it was the chair. My dentist is probably early 40s. He is attractive. I am married, and I'm not looking at smashing or anything. But still, I don't love the idea of farting in front of a good-looking man. So do I need to switch dentists? Does this happen often? Are they laughing at my flatulence at their staff meeting? I am literally dying inside. Please help me. Lance, this woman needs your help.
All of the above. Yeah, I've had this happen where someone farted right in the chair, and on more than one occasion. Usually, I just ignore it, and no one mentions it, and it just don't ask, don't tell, just move on. But it's my older patients that just kind of own it. They're like, "Yeah, shit happens." Yeah,
I hope not.
Hope not
really.
Right now.
Yeah, no, that's poor terminology to use in this current situation.
Yeah.
Do you have any particular stories?
No, nothing.
Nothing that jumps out. I don't really have anything either.
I mean, it's happened, but there wasn't anything associated with it was really compelling of a story to share.
I had a kid once, maybe 9. Who needed a fair amount of restorative, like just direct composites.
Okay.
Just like class 2s, like MOs, DOs, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing that was like stainless steel crown and pulp, but just a lot of like interproximal.
Right, yeah.
And the kid was 8 or 9, and I'm like talking to mom, going over x-rays and stuff, and the kid like farts once, and he's like 9, and he thinks it's hilarious, and so he keeps trying, and he keeps doing it. So like, finally I'm just like, okay, we've gone over this stuff. I go in the office manager's office, I was like, raise the fees by 50%. Like, whatever the normal fee for a class 2 composite is, $190, whatever it is, raise it by 50%. Raise the entire treatment plan by 50%. They're going to pay 150%. It's like, if I have to deal with this farting brat,
Yeah.
like, no, I'm not, like, it's not what I'm doing. It's not what I'm doing.
Although, according to the Texas jurisprudence exam, you can't do that.
Tell me more about that, because I don't remember the question about, like, real life scenario, a farting child is in your chair, can you raise their feet? I don't remember that question on the test.
It wasn't quite that specific, but it was.
Okay, good.
It was. Can you you can charge whatever fee you want, regardless of what you normally charge.
And that's not true?
That's not true.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I got it wrong.
What's the law?
That you have to charge whatever you normally charge. It has to be. I would assume. Yeah.
I'm lobbying that shit. I'm going to lobby day to talk about this motherfucker.
Okay.
Because a class 2 isn't always a class 2. A crown's not always a crown.
Uh-huh.
There's a fucking pain in the ass fee. And until the ADA has a code of D6969 or D420, whatever, I am not that's specifically called pain in the ass code. That's fucking bullshit.
I'll see if I can find it. I just took it last
night.
I
should be able to charge whatever the fuck I want based on, like, that's bullshit.
That's why I got it wrong, because I thought it was too obvious.
Every dentist in Texas is violating that shit. Fuck you, State Board of Dental Examiners. The former executive director of the State Board of Dental Examiners is my patient. I will text her tomorrow and ask her this.
Okay, yeah.
That's insane. Until the ADA has a farting code, then I should be able to change my fee if I have a 9-year-old kid who won't shut the fuck up in my chair.
Absolutely agree. Or those people that are so phobic and won't take sedation or whatever. So much work, right. and suddenly that appointment was 3 hours and it should have been 45 minutes.
That kid is the only situation I specifically remember. They did not come to me for the filling. They went somewhere else.
Yeah.
Fine.
Exactly.
Cool.
Exactly.
That was the goal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's usually when I've done a few consultations, and it was just going to be this big case, and I just looked at them, and I normally be like 20,000. I say, yeah, this is going to be about 45,000.
Yeah.
And they eventually ended the conversation.
They go somewhere else.
They're gone. Yeah. Yay. Yeah, I win.
But I've never had a situation where I've had, like, an attractive woman fart in front of me.
Yeah, no.
Is there a better time to fart in a dental office than now?
Yeah, with all the extra PPE.
With all our PPE and all that shit, there's never been a better time to fart in a dental office.
As long as you can make sure that they're silent, not the big, loud, flappy type.
Yeah, but even then, so here's the other thing I was going to say. The dental office is the best place to fart.
No, ask me how I know.
Well, just because there's so much ambient noise, right?
True.
You've got suction going.
Mm-hmm.
We've got music in our office. It's a big part of what we do. Big part of my brand is that there's always good music playing. And I don't, like, play it, like, softly, quietly. This isn't like the fucking La Scala room, what was it in the dentist?
Yeah.
So there's music playing, there's suction, there's, like, all the chairs are, like, leather or whatever, so all the chairs squeak.
True.
It's like there's just sounds everywhere,
Yeah, definitely. And definitely easy to blend in.
It's not like a fucking library,
Right.
So if you're going to do it, it's not terrible.
Yeah.
It's not
Although it sounds like he was finishing. He was doing a little Proxima strip.
So maybe there was no suction going, which made it worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that if there are any patients listening to this, the rules of engagement should be like, if you can try to hold it until the high volume section is going, that's when you should do it.
Yeah, I use the Isolite almost exclusively, and so pretty much anytime that's on, knock yourself out.
You can't hear anything.
Exactly. Yeah. In fact, the Isolite itself will suck away the odor.
So that may have come up in the comments on Reddit.
Oh, really?
Is that a pro assistant? Let me see if I can find it. This is Mikotu, Reddit user Mikotu. Was the assistant a pro and wave her high-speed suction like she was TSA wanding you down at the airport? So that's like your next level assistant, your assistant that holds the patient's hand while you're giving them a block and all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
That's sort of the That's what an A+ assistant would do. Apparently.
For sure, yeah.
Worst medical office to fart in, I think, would have to be a gynecologist office, right?
Oh, yeah.
It has to happen a lot. I have a gynecologist friend. I will text her tomorrow and ask. I will send her a picture of this and say, how many times in a month does a patient fart when they're in the stirrups? Just because that's a weird position, man.
Yeah, I would think it's pretty common. I would have to, yeah.
So better a dental farter than an OBGYN farter.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Yeah.
Could you imagine being a fucking OBGYN and like an occupational hazard is pink eye from a patient farting in your face?
Do your premiums go up?
Like you carry disability insurance. It's like a specific rider.
Yeah.
The conjunctivitis rider on your disability insurance, because it's like, oh, that's the OBGYN widowmaker right there. Is the fart in the face that leads to pink eye, that leads to a brain infection or some shit.
Yeah.
There's some comments about stomach growling. Stomach growling, I think, is a much different game than farting.
And it's usually pretty obviously one or the other.
Right, but it's like, if you said, hey, gun to your head, quiet room, and you have to do one of the two, fart or your stomach growl, which one are you taking?
Oh, growl.
The stomach growl, like
yeah.
100 times out of 100.
Absolutely.
So that's not even in the same zip code as farting.
No.
There's was also talk a female dentist. Let me find this because this was great. I do love this. Iveen131 says, seriously though, why switch dentists? You farted, you're a human, and so is your dentist. LMAO, is that why your username is Dental Farter? Then Dental Farter replied, no, my Reddit name is Dental Farter for an entirely other reason. Oh, God, that's so funny. That's so funny. That makes me laugh.
That is awesome.
Let's see here. Okay, this is Kennedy's fat cousin is the Reddit username. I'm a lady dentist, and I fart in front of one of my new patients at least once a month. Sometimes you're just in a position too long, or a procedure is taking longer than your ass can bank for, and you just can't help rip one. I usually act like nothing happened. I think farts are hilarious, and I sure hope my patients think it is too. The chairs do make loud fart noises, though. Just consider your gift cosmic karma for the profession because of all the farts my patients get.
Okay.
I'm fascinated by who this is.
I mean, look, I think farts are funny. My whole family thinks farts are funny, except Holly. But I am not farting in front of my patients.
Especially new patients, once a month.
Once a month?
Holy shit.
She needs to change her diet.
Something's happening.
She's doing something wrong.
Yeah. There's just a lot of comments of like, oh, you're human, it's fine. Right. But I do put myself in this patient's position, and I would have the same anxiety.
Yeah,
if I were the patient.
I can totally understand them, and I probably would be tempted to find a new office. Because
Peanut Butter.
Absolutely, they are talking about it at a staff meeting.
Peanut Butter Runner says, ever see a female dentist with kids? Yeah, she definitely farted in front of a patient while 9 months pregnant. From female dentist with a kid. Is that a common thing?
Yeah, bearing children does make certain muscles less. Yeah,
like while during pregnancy,
and then then afterwards. So yeah, peeing yourself a little more readily is common even after delivery. That's just a change that happens after the child comes. So I was listening to Dr. Who was the guy on Loveline with Corolla? Dean?
Dr. Drew.
Drew, yeah. Someone mentioned something along those lines on one of the shows, and he's like, oh, that's just absolutely physical. If you're a woman that's already had children, you're going to pee yourself. Not regularly, but it's not uncommon. So I think those same muscles for farts are going to be in play.
Let me see here. There was a good one. I'm a dental assistant with IBS. This is from Emily Anne Marie 88. And I'm ashamed to say I've farted in the room at least a handful of times in my career, and so have my patients, and so has my doctor. I figure at least if there's 3 of us in the room, we can all suspect the other 2 people, and I don't get singled out. My doctor's favorite trick is to bring her little Yorkie therapy dog after a night of binging on Taco Bell, and then we just blame everything on the dog.
Have you ever heard of a fecal transplant?
I have heard of a fecal transplant. In fact,
I had
you had one?
I had an assistant that had one.
Oh God!
And it wasn't.
Okay. I was about.
No.
The show was about to go off the fucking rails, Lance.
No.
I was like, we are 130 episodes in, and this is just now coming up.
No.
I was literally about to erupt, Lance.
No.
So you had an assistant that had one.
Yeah, and there was one time she wasn't there, and I'm like, text her, well, where are you? And then she's like, I shit myself. I had to go home.
Oh God.
Oh shit. And what do you can't like?
No, you can't.
It's like, okay, see you tomorrow.
We had a study club meeting earlier this year, and our study club director. It was a great meeting. He lined up a cardiologist, a GP, urologist, and a gastroenterologist.
Okay.
And they all kind of did 10-minute spiels about sort of the state of their profession or their specialty. And then they took questions. And the gastroenterologist talked a lot about like microbiomes and flora and stuff like that. And he briefly got into the idea of fecal transplants. And there's a female dentist in my study club named Joan, who's the sweetest woman. She's so sweet. And she's married to a pretty well-known dentist in our area who teaches sedation at the dental school. Every resident who went to dental school here learned sedation from this guy. Gotcha. He's super nice guy. Great. He moonlights at other offices, like doing sedation on patients while you work on him. And he's awesome. Awesome. Uh-huh. Joan just gets fucking fixated on this. And she asked 7 or 8 questions in a row about the fecal transplant. And it was just, at some point, it became abundantly clear, like, holy shit, Joan's into ass stuff. Like, she has to be. Like, why would she have so many questions about this? This is a lot of questions. A lot of questions that I might either ask privately and or ask Siri or Alexa or Google in the privacy of my own home without anyone around.
Clear your browser history.
Here we are. Yeah, here we are in the middle of a restaurant talking about this. And so that's my memory of fecal transplants. Apparently they're good.
Yeah.
Especially for people like with IBS or Crohn's disease.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
What would you be more embarrassed about if you were a patient? Throwing up from like an alginate or a polyvinyl impression, or farting?
Probably farting.
I think so too, which is dumb.
Yeah,
it really is.
Totally dumb, but yeah.
Because I'm sure patients have farted in the room, and I've just not even noticed and powered through.
Right.
But that doesn't, like, if somebody throws up on me, I'm remembering that forever. Yeah. So that's probably the wrong answer. But
yeah.
Ugh. This is from Aqua Taco. Ugh, you just reminded me of a funny story I've never told my coworkers. Every Halloween, my friend and I make some bomb-ass chili, and I've been at my current job for about a week. It was the day after Halloween, and the chili that year made me extra gassy. I'm not sure why. It just did. The farts didn't just stink. They burned your nostrils, and they lingered. Being the new girl, I was too timid and awkward to excuse myself to the restroom. We just finished the patient, and my boss, the lead assistant, and I went into the sterilization room together. My boss laughed and said, "Man, that was stinky." So I just sort of went with it. I'm not sure I can ever admit that I was the one farting, even though it's been years and we're all pretty close now. So, I guess. A lot of people are saying it's very common, and we both can't necessarily name an instance where it's happened except for like once. And that's in 50 years of combined dental experience between the two of us.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as embarrassing as it is, it's just not really that big a deal.
So if this happened today, which I think it did, and or I just saw this. Southpaw 303, I recommend smashing your dentist.
That'll make up for it, yeah.
This was posted 6 hours ago. It seems as if this happened recently. This doesn't seem like oh my God, I was just thinking about this thing that happened 5 years ago. Like, this seems like it just happened.
Yeah.
So that means that the dentist is PPE'd out. And so they're, I don't think the dentist even noticed it. I really don't.
Yeah, probably not.
I think this is the best time ever to fart at the dentist.
In fact, I think you should tomorrow. Just
if there's any patients listening to this, the problem is for us, we get screwed because the patients aren't wearing N95 masks. They don't have any mask on.
That's true. Yeah.
And but the nice thing is there's a lot of noise, so we kind of can learn to time things a certain way so that we know when the suction's on and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I have this alternate laser,
Mm-hmm.
and it's voice prompted. It's called the Gemini. It's a fucking badass laser. It's amazing.
Okay.
It's super expensive. I got it for free.
Was
That's
it?
the only reason I have
Is it
one.
a YAG? Is it a diode?
It's a diode. It's a soft tissue diode.
Okay.
For a diode laser, it's very expensive, and
Okay.
the tips are expensive, but they give them to me for free. So I fucking love it. And that the voice prompt is so fucking loud. It is so loud. It'll say like, enter your password, and like literally the entire office can hear it. And then it says like, pick your wavelength, dual wavelength, and then you pick your procedure. And it's like, usually it's gingival troughing or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But could you imagine if it was like circumcision, hemorrhoid removal? And it's like, it's deafeningly loud. And I'm using it in the back of the office in my back operatories, and my office manager, whose office is in the clear front of the office, knows exactly what's happening from this lady announcing it. And like, you can turn it off and on, but you can't really change the volume of the voice.
That sounds like a design flaw.
It's so loud. But like the voice cue is nice because it like tells you when the tip is activated and all that kind of stuff. And otherwise you have to look up and look at the screen.
Oh.
As opposed to just going. And so I've tried to turn it up. It's in, if there's a glare in the room, if it's sunny, you can't always see the screen right.
Yeah.
So I always leave the voice on, and it's just like, man, this thing is like fucking Marv Albert just announcing what is happening.
Yes!
From way downtown, and it counts. Like, Jesus, like, can we volume control this? So at least it's like you could time a fart with that when she's announcing to the entire world and to the suites on the left and the right of me what procedure I'm doing on a patient, which is great. So that's a good time to fart if you have to. But that's just us who knows that.
I kind of miss. So my first iTero had a voice telling me where. All I did was just obey the voice, and now it's silent. I kind of miss her. She's gone.
What was the 2001: A Space Odyssey, like HAL 9000?
Yeah.
When your fucking Itero becomes sentient and just starts telling you things to do.
Go to the buckle. Go to the buckle.
No,
Lance.
I don't think I'll stab Holly and the kids. Like, that doesn't seem cool.
That's a bad idea. But
do it, Dr. Timmerman.
But maybe
stab them all.
I think it's a bad. Well, okay.
All right. So a couple things to wrap this up.
Okay.
Is she looking to smash? She specifically says, I'm married and I'm not looking to smash.
Which usually means you're thinking about it.
But, like...
She wouldn't say no.
Well, I mean, you're the one that brought it up, lady.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
None of us were really thinking that until you started talking about how hot the dentist was.
That's right.
So, maybe you do want to smash a little bit. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Let's theoretically, let's say she's not married. Let's say he's not married.
Okay.
Let's say she's attracted to him. He's attracted to her.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he would not go out with her because she was the one that farted?
Oh, no.
Depends on how hot she is, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
I mean, if it's like a borderline situation, that might teeter it over to the edge.
Yeah.
But if she's a smoke show, it doesn't matter if she farted or not.
Exactly. Yeah. It'll be your goal to get her to do it again.
Would it?
Challenge accepted.
I don't know about that one. Normally, I would yes and Lance to keep the show going. That's a weird one. Does she need to switch dentists?
No, no, not at all.
No. He probably never even noticed.
I honestly probably didn't. He's busy trying to make his margins perfect and polished and get the nice sparkle on his bonding.
Does this happen often? Apparently it does based on the comments. Apparently I'm just ambivalent.
Yeah.
Because I can't name another time in my office other than the 9-year-old kid, and that's in 15 years of practice.
Yeah, I probably 3-4 times. It's not
okay.
Not well, the ones I've heard.
That's and that's true. And that was the deal, was that this was an audible one.
Mm-hmm.
Now with all the PPE, the silent but deadly is the way to go, as opposed to audible. But what did you say it was? Loud and harmless. I found funny.
Yeah.
Are they laughing about it at their staff meeting?
If they heard it, yeah, for sure. Once. They won't keep talking about it. It'll be just the very next morning huddle.
Yeah.
Hey, remember yesterday? Yeah, she farted.
You know what's been a casualty of COVID for us? Is a morning huddle.
Oh, okay.
Because we're doing these staggered starts now because we don't want people getting to the office at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So instead of all starting at the same time, which is what we used to do, now like one starts at 8, one starts at 8:15, and one of us starts at 8:30. So now we all start at different times, and so it makes the huddle really difficult.
Huh.
So I'm still trying to figure that out. I guess it just means we need to huddle early.
Yeah.
But that's sometimes difficult to do. So
yeah, I don't huddle either.
I can honestly tell you, like,
only because I'm alone.
That's true. You huddle with yourself.
I do.
Huddle with myself. Oh, huddle with myself. Yeah, you texted me yesterday. We were going to record yesterday, and you're like, "Fuck off! I can't do it." I'm like, all right. You're like, I did everything myself today. Like, okay. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah,
it sucks. You got any hot leads?
I'm meeting someone tomorrow, and
good.
So I'll be fine. It's just a blip and annoying as hell. What I have,
one less person have to buy a fucking N95 mask for.
Well, exactly. And what it's doing is it's proving to me that no one has an excuse for things taking so damn long. I'm fucking taking the bite wings. That took me 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I did the prophy and got it all done. I damn good job. It didn't take me 90 minutes that these hygienists want.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you don't be careful. You don't want to not show up to work and have the boss realize he doesn't really need you.
Yes, that's a tough look.
So
I've got that going on with an assistant that can't come back because of childcare right now. I'm like, do I need her?
Yeah.
I don't know if I need her.
Yeah.
I don't know if I need her.
You probably
I don't know.
Probably not. It's nice
I think the answer is probably.
It's nice to have people, but I mean, it's nice to have at least one.
I mean, that like the huddle is supposed to be like, all right, well, let's make these conversions and dig for gold, as the friars say. All that. Like, I don't know. I sold a $30,000 case today.
Yeah, perfect.
We didn't have a fucking huddle.
Yeah.
So I don't know. N of one. So maybe that is cognitive bias. But they may not be laughing at their staff meeting. They, depending on where you are, dental farter, they may not have a staff meeting because of COVID stuff, and they still want to social distance.
Yeah.
So that may not even come out. It's like, again, it's the perfect time. Like, we've got so much other shit on our minds right now. Just trying to survive the day that one lady farting in a chair. Probably not the end of the world.
Probably not.
Hey, share this with your friends. You got a friend who likes to fart in the dental office in front of new patients, like whoever that was. Let them know about the show. This is the show for them. This is how we grow the show, one new listener at a time. Rate and review. Lance, what's your favorite number? What's your favorite number of farts?
I'm a big fan of 5.
5 farts. iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify for flicking through Podbean. Flick 5 stars. Hit us up with a review. iTunes works best. We'd appreciate that. Hit us up on the web, workinginterferences.com, and all of the social bullshits. Facebook, Working Interferences with Josh and Lance, and funny shit for dentists and dental team members. And Twitter, @Winterferences. Instagram at Winterferences. Lens can be found on Instagram at drtimmermandmd. I can be found on Instagram at Joshua Austin DS. Mash that follow button. Lance, it's your turn for a song. Tell me about what you got this week.
Well, we were talking about songs and such, and I like this one. I'm a big. Do you like covers? I like doing acoustic versions and people doing.
I love a good cover.
You know, and it's when other artists' interpretation of the same thing, and I really like, and mashups are fun too. And
mashups. One of my favorite concert experiences of all time was I was in high school, and was seeing Hootie and the Blowfish, and they did Only Want to Be With You, but in the middle of the song, they stopped playing that song, and they started playing Closer to Fine by the Indigo Girls in the middle of the song.
Yeah.
And played all of Closer to Fine, and then just stopped at the end of Closer to Fine and finished Only Want to Be With You.
That's amazing.
And it's like, fuck, it's so, like, I just love that kind of live
love that
music shit where, like, it's medleys from one song to another. It's great.
Yeah.
It's always good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I really like that kind of stuff. And are you familiar with an artist named Tracy McDowell?
I think she's on Broadway.
Okay.
Is that correct?
I think so. I'm not real familiar. Just kind of came across the music as I was looking. I scroll through, Shazam and iTunes and stuff, and I see other things that are related to other things that I like. And this one I thought was pretty cool. It's also got "I Kissed a Girl" in mashed up with it. So we got "I Kissed a Girl" and then "Smell Your Dick." Are you familiar?
I am quite familiar. It's fucking great, man. I love it. I fucking ride for this. Just get ready, people. That's all I'm telling you. Be prepared. This song is fucking amazing. Lance, good pick. Well, if you're gonna fart in the operatory, make sure the high volume's on. For Lance Timmerman, I'm Joshua Austin. Peace. Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Yes. I'm going to. This was never the way I planned, not my intention. I got so brave, drink in hand, lost my discretion. It's not what good girls do. Just wanna try you on. I'm curious for you. Caught my attention. I kissed a girl and I liked it. The taste of her cherry chapstick. I kissed a girl just to try it. I hope my boyfriend don't mind it. It felt so wrong, felt so right. I mean, I'm in love tonight. I kissed a girl and I liked it. And I liked it. So then I was a lesbian. She was like super smart, super pretty, and I was like, you have your shit together. Obviously, I'm picking horrible, so I'm gonna go with you. And I went on tour, and she went on tour, and having a relationship on tour is kind of impossible. Yeah, and just guys, so you know, you might say that girls are psycho, but they're psychic before they're psycho. And she could kind of feel like maybe I wasn't into it. And I could kind of feel that maybe like she was doing something really weird back in New York. So I come up from tour and I'm like, hey babe, are you glad we're like not a statistic? We didn't like cheat on each other when we were on tour, right? Right. And she looked at me and she said, I slept with your best friend's girlfriend. Now my dad had a lot of affairs, so my biggest fear was getting cheated on. So I was like, great, now I'm gonna feel there's aliens in my garage. And I did, kind of lose my shit. I punched her with my sidekick, and so she had a big sidekick mark on her arm. And I ran out into the streets, and I bought all the drugs and drinks I could find, and I took them all, and I cried for days and days. And I was really losing it when I started calling my best friend Henry, and I was like, okay, I know this is not good, feeling that like I'm gonna wait outside her door. When she comes out, I'm gonna cut off her hair so that every day she looks in the mirror, she's gonna have to remember what she did to me. And he's like, all right, these are feelings we have. Don't do that. So my biggest fear was like, next time I like get in a relationship or like if I have a husband, I'm gonna be one of those psycho